so welcome back, everyone. It's New Mutator, and I'm joined by Paris, of all people. Hey, Paris, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Thanks for asking. So this is game two of the bottom bracket finals that we're looking at, and this is the game that I casted, and the audio kind of went out, and I wasn't able to I actually took it down. So I'm recasting it, and this is game two of the bottom bracket finals between NCR, who's in the south. Are they in the north or the south? I don't know. They look the same. It's Limp and Rat King captaining. So this is
Yeah,
the.
where NCR is down in the south and Rat King's team is in the north.
So can you answer me a question, Paris?
Yeah.
Why is Limp captaining this game? Because
Well,
Scott normally captains, right?
yeah, going into the tournament, I mean, ideally, Scott would captain every game. That's one of his favorite roles, I think. Maybe he's a little bored of it now, but it's at least a role that he's comfortable with and he excels with. But that's something that Limp also feels comfortable doing. And like if you notice, when the game first starts, he trades within 10 or 15 seconds, so he was already prepared for the
Okay.
map
All
and
right.
the match as a whole. Him and Scott handled a lot of the strat work for our team,
Okay.
so
Yeah, I had the impression that I wasn't exactly sure, but I remember mentioning, okay, so at this point, maybe Limp is like, okay, let me captain this game, and he must have had a strategy planned out for this map, and
oh yeah,
that's the
definitely.
impression that I had coming into this, or just looking at it in the cast that I ended up taking down. But let me really quick. So on NCR, it's going to be Limp captaining with Paris, Genghis or Noble Steed, Homer, Broken Cow. And who's Broken Cow 1 exactly? Just
He's like a veteran, ancient grizzly bear player, man. He used to play for Evil Incorporated, Mything
Oh,
Under the
okay.
Influence, and he's notorious for being on teams with Limp. So
All right, cool. And Garrick, Scott, and Killer King. I guess Killer King's sitting this one out because there's a player advantage. For Rat King and the Masters of Myth, they're actually going to be in the north. It's going to be Shadow, Rar, Slate, Lizard King, Kron 1, and Adrenaline. I mean, were you able to look at the trades at all? Like, how are they
Game
different? I know
on.
there's more guests, I guess, on Rat King's team.
yeah, it looks like they traded for more gas. I don't know what they substituted. Um,
There's another dwarf, maybe, but
some
no
extra
archers.
dwarves. They might have
Neither team
gotten
got
some less
archers.
warriors.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I made a note of this in the original cast, but for whatever reason, this game just is so. This was like the fastest game I think of the entire match.
Yeah, that's correct. I think what Limp did, I think we got more goals and they traded for more gas. And our plan was to, push pretty fast. We didn't want to just have a slow, long, drawn out flag rally game and just let it go whichever way. We know that like teams usually like to send their
Flag
herons on the
captured.
flanks and go all around the map
Flag
because the flags are
captured.
on the perimeter of the map. So
Hmm.
we wanted to just send our herons right through mid, grab
I
our
see.
close tag, which would be in the east since we started south, and just move from there, try to get behind their enemy lines and get their back flags before they even know what happened.
Right. Okay. So I see. So that's why you're not. So basically, the
Flag captured.
you're sending these heron packs like kind of up through the
Flag
middle
captured.
area, and where there's no flags, basically.
Yeah, and also as we expected, we expected at least there would be one squad trying to hold us off mid, but there was
Flag
nothing, man.
captured.
So it was like a real
Hmm.
golden opportunity to walk right through it.
Interesting. So So, if you can remember, like, what's sort of going through your mind right now as you're playing this match, this
Flag
game in
captured.
particular?
Well, I'm moving through the mid with Genghis, and I know that we have the fast units. We're trying to get position to put the enemy out of
Flag
position.
captured.
And at this point, I remember I'm looking over at the east flag, and I kind of feel, they have units close to ours, but I'm feeling comfortable. Like, I don't think they're going to try to engage us outright because they're defending that flag. Meanwhile, I'm sneaking some herons up to the northeast. I'm already making a move on this flag number 2 because I know that they probably just have some ghasts on defense or some weak units that herons could just chop up quick.
Yeah, it looks like there's a goal and 3 gas, but the goal doesn't even have, it's not loaded.
Yeah, and also a loaded goal wouldn't even matter
Yeah,
against a heron.
right, that's true. With heals and everything, even with the just the resistance.
Yeah, the pus immunity, man, it can totally change any type of battle.
Yeah, so we see
Flag
Rat King
captured.
defending. He blows the satchels on the home flag, flag 1, which I don't know if he intended to do that or not, but he's going to try to do some damage or what damage he can. But he pusses himself. Did you see that?
Yeah, and now his goal is +2. It
Flag
looked like he
captured.
wasn't paying a lot of attention, or
He might have
he was
been
just really not controlling his units there.
he might have been distracted, but that flag just falls immediately
Flag
with little
captured.
resistance.
Victory imminent.
And it's already victory imminent.
Yeah, so my team had moved up. I'm pretty sure it was like Homer and Garrick. They moved through the east pretty quickly. We had the west tag early, and we already are taking the northwest flag, and it's already
Flag
over, man.
captured.
Yeah, who is that?
Just like
So
that.
Limp took it. Yeah, I think I missed that last time too. That final flag tag. I didn't even I didn't even catch it this time. But yeah, that's oh yeah, Genghis took it with Limp standing by with the goal. Although the I don't know who got that. I guess they each got 1 kill. So yeah, they tag teamed that. But that was a fast game.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to execute our plan without any major issues.
Oh, I see.
We
Yeah,
just wanted to run right through them as fast as possible, and they pretty much we expected them to be really heavy on the flanks, and they just kind of fell right into that trap. They had nothing to block Genghis or me from just going right through their backfield, and because they walked off east, they really didn't try to hold that down and fight. They just moved backwards and into awkward hallways.
right. Yeah, I think
That pretty much caused them the defeat.
I think they were definitely caught off guard on this one, and I noticed that um, they dropped both flag rally games. This match, which I was for whatever reason I made a note of that, and I was like, okay, well maybe that's like a weakness that is going to be exploited coming into the finals, but it turned out not to be the case or
I mean,
something.
see, Rat King's style of strategy reminds me of a very basic, at least basic strategies. He doesn't try to do too much fancy stuff. He just relies on the bread and butter basics of the game, and matching up against Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the finals is just a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, you think
Because,
so?
GKG likes to implement strategies the same exact way, so at that point, it's going to be a battle of player matchups
I see.
rather
So
than
so
strategy versus
it's going to be the
strategy.
BC kind of so whichever team has a better BC lineup is what you're saying is probably going to come out on top. And
Yeah,
you're
unless,
saying in
like,
that instance maybe MoM has a disadvantage? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah,
because
at
there's
least
East Winds and whoever else is on TMNT, GKG and all those guys.
yeah, they have
Well, I don't know
like
that.
both of those teams have a bunch of great players.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, when you're playing against a team against GKG, he's like a captain and a player at the same
right.
time. So you're pretty much at a player disadvantage right from the start. And if you're gonna play his game, which is like the push and be nice and slow and BC, like that's the kind of game he likes to play, then you're going to lose to him more often than not because he's had so much practice executing that, as an individual and as a team player and a team leader. Rat King doesn't really have as much experience, although he has, gotten a number of victories throughout the years, just by implementing the same strategy. This year's lineup for him in Myth World Cup, he would be able to have players who could contend with the lineup versus lineup matchup just by having, he has a Dren, Kron, Lizard King, Roar. These are all players who can match up with the best on any given day. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'll note also that Slate did pretty well in the some of the 1v1 matchups. Um,
Oh yeah,
he's
man.
been
He seemed
he's
like the most dedicated to it by far.
yeah he's I mean, I don't want to say he's an improved player because I always thought that he was a decent player in his own right, but I think he's sort of stood out as a pretty solid player on this team.
Yeah, man. And for a while he was a very individual player. Sometimes he has trouble communicating
Or not
or
communicating.
understanding
Oh, I
communication with
see.
other players. Because he when he first started playing, he played a lot of free for alls, so it's yourself against the world
Right,
in
right,
that
right, right.
case.
True that, true that.
But
Yeah.
like over the years, he's developed into a valuable team asset if he's able to be present for the match for sure.
Okay, and I wanted to close. I wanted to ask you. So, with this game, like how I mean, what was kind of the psychology of your team coming coming into this game and then winning so quick? Like what was the I mean, how did you feel coming out of this game? Did you feel like the rest of the match was going to be like an easy pickup? Or were you thinking that, okay, well, we evened it up, and it's we'll just take it one game at a time? Like what can you tell me about your experience being on this team coming out of this game?
Well, I think we had lost the first game. I don't exactly remember why, but
Yeah.
my team's motivation in this tournament wasn't really to beat or match up with Rat King's team. We just wanted to play TMNT every week, because we knew those would be the most fun games. So, after winning against them, like at this point, we're expecting a cakewalk because, while there's this big argument always, over effort and caring and crap like that, we didn't expect them to be as much of a challenge as they were. And being able to walk through them like this in game two and just tag all their back flags and just be everywhere that they're not and get an easy victory like this, like, it boosts our confidence. We feel like we're doing the right thing, and honestly, when shit like this happens, it makes me a more lazy player. I'm gonna start doing more risky stuff because
Mm-hmm.
it makes me
Mm-hmm.
bored. I've played too many games of Myth, you know.
Yeah, I noticed actually. I made a note that you were actually taking a lot of risks in some of the games that I saw you playing, where you were just rushing in, you were losing some units, but you were trying to take objectives like getting time on flags and stuff like that. And but but you were sort of playing the game, but it seemed like you were impatient. Is that sort of Was I right in kind of in getting that impression?
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. We win game two. We're in the bottom bracket finals, and it's our first victory in that match. And it already practically feels like we're there at the home stretch. We kind of just want to get to that last match, get this one done and over with as fast as possible, and just get to the finish line and see what happens from there. And I don't know, like you said, man. When you pick up on me getting impatient, and it's like I'm waiting for the cookies and cream at the end of the
Yeah.
the hard day of work. So
Yeah, you're perhaps you're uh
a little too impatient for my own good, man. I start taking risks. I see what I can make happen. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'm also the kind of player that like I can react and adjust to other players, but what I like doing is making them react and adjust to me because that's when you really get in full control of the game and your
true that.
opponent can become helpless because of that.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing as in chess, for instance, where you want to be in control of the tempo. Um,
Exactly, man.
cool, man. Well, thanks for joining me and explaining a few things, answering a few questions that I had. It's pretty good to get that insight. Unfortunately, however, NCR was knocked out of the tournament in this match.
Wait,
Uh,
I gotta get my tissues out. Hold on.
and MoM did advance to the finals, which hopefully we'll have those for you soon-ish. But
Yeah,
thanks
man.
for watching and thanks for joining me, Paris. And we'll see you in the next match, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, New Mutator. It was a pleasure, and thank you for doing your good work, man. You're always putting up some great showcasts. Thank you for covering all of our shenanigans
Hey, no
on this game.
problem.